and guests in the room, and to all of those watching of us in live stream across the world, please note that this press conference with international athletes is organized in several parts. So we will have different athletes throughout. There are 6 parts, but 6 different groups of athletes in each one, and I will introduce each one of them at each part. It will also be conducted in English, and this press point will be followed by a session with French athletes in the French language as well. Without much further ado, please join me in welcoming Yaroslava Mahuchikh, Ukrainian high jumper, Olympic champion, reigning world outdoor champion, double European champion, 3 times European indoor champion, 3 times the Diamond League final winner. Welcome, Yaroslava.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this introducing.
And last but not the least, I'll save the best for last, world record holder with an impressive height of 2010, cleared exactly this time last year here at the stadium. First and foremost, thank you very much for taking time of your personal and training schedule to be here with us. It was quite a long introduction, but very well deserved. So without further ado, I will go straight into questions. And my first question is that at the age of 23, you have almost as many wins in Diamond League events, so 21 if memory and the statistics don't fail me. When you had your first win, still as a teenager, what have the last 6 years been like for you, in particular in the Diamond League circuit, and how has that been a decisive factor to shape the athlete that you are today?
Yeah, I remember that it was my dream to participate at Diamond League events, and I remember how I watched the competition with our Ukrainian athletes, and for me it was a dream. And I remember my first Diamond League in Rome. It was in 2018, and I was so young. I was 16 years old, and I remember that I was the last one, but it was a great experience for me to be part of this Diamond League. And I decided in my mind it was, yes, I already be the Diamond League champion, and now I have 3 trophies of Diamond League. It's like it's a journey of my life, how I grow up, how I get stronger mentally, physically, that to get the highest results as possible. And it showed that my work is pay off, because last year I jumped here, world record, and I'm so happy for this, and I'm happy to come back here with good memories.
Do you also feel that you have changed as a person as much as you've changed as an athlete?
Of course, if you grow up, you get strong personality, you get in, you're ready for everything in this life. And I remember my feelings when the war have started in Ukraine, and I remember that first thing that, oh my gosh, what I should do. And after that, I full focus that, okay, no panic, it's not working. So we decided to help and each other, and I continue to help. And now I think that it helps me to be more mentally stronger.
Let's circle back to June 2024, when some of us were blessed enough to see you here at the stadium breaking the world record. Do you feel more pressure now that you have jumped on the day back-to-back 207 and 210?
I don't like the word pressure, because every time my coach teaching me that I should just focus on my jump, focus on my feelings. But of course, it's so exciting to jump here again after the world record, and I want to do all my best and to give some warm memories to spectators on Friday. And I think that we will do with girls at this time, so it will be highest results.
Now that you've gifted the Parisian crowd and international fans with that accolade of being the world record holder, what can they expect from you? What would you like them to expect from you tomorrow when they come out to see you?
I think just a good vibes, good memories, my smile before the jumps. And of course, I want to improve myself and jump higher than 2 meters, but let's see how it will be. So I'm really thankful that they follow me, and I try to be the best version of me, and to keep working and to get to the World Championship, because World Championship in the end of September is the most important competition that I will have this season.
Yeah, talking about the World Championships and being so late this year, how do you, to what extent would you find yourself personally, and maybe together with your coach, that each meet that you take part in, each Diamond League that you take part, is a bit to try new things, and see how you are at the shape you're in at that time and moment?
Yeah, you know, every Diamond League and every competition now, it's like show what we did and what we should do better than ever, you know. And it's experience to get the best shape in the end of our season. But it will be not my first time that I have too late competition. I have yours Olympic Games in October in Argentina, and I had my first World Championship in Doha was in the end of September. So I'm looking forward for this championship, and I know that I will be ready for fighting to protect my title of the World Champion.
You said that it was your dream to compete at the Diamond League, and it is certainly our dream to see you competing at Diamond League today, well, tomorrow. So on that note, I will hand over to ask if there's any questions from the media on site that you have to Yaroslava.
No question. Cool.
Oh, there is it. Well, there should be. I've got extra questions, but
Hello.
Hi.
How are you feeling physically at this moment? Because you said you had something unusual in your body at the Tokyo Golden Grand Prix. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, now I'm feeling good. I think in Tokyo it was acclimatization, like because I had a long journey from China to Tokyo that time, but now I feel good and my body and my mind ready to fight and ready to jump.
Thank you.
Hello, Yaroslava. Do you think for tomorrow you can beat your own record?
I really want to do it. I don't know how it happened, but I know that this is fantastic place and something magical, because Paris, it's always magical for me, because here I jumped my first world record, and I hope it not will be the last one. And I won the gold medal of Olympic Games here, so I think something special should be coming.
Hi, Yaroslava. You've told us before that you've changed your run-up to the jump. Can you tell us where you are in that progress, and what more would you like to do before it's complete?
Yeah, I changed my runway last year, last spring, you know, and just work on it. Now, yes, I feel that maybe some climate summit, for example, last meet in Stockholm, it was windy to my face, and I didn't realize what I should to do. So I should try to train more with windy, with climate, you know, climate change. So, but I'm happy with my runway, and I know that I'm ready to jump high as possible.
any more questions for our world record holder? Well, I've got a couple more, but despite your accolades and with that long introduction, you haven't always won. So, and my question is, how do you deal with not winning every time? And how do you, what do you talk about with your coach? And also when you're away from cameras, away from the track, and you have time just to be yourself, just to be Yaroslava, how do you reflect on those times that you didn't quite win? You might have just come second or third.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough question. But now I think I just want to receive the fun from competition, get fun with girls, and I just enjoy the atmosphere. Maybe 3 years ago, I was crying in my room, but now I'm a grow up and I realized what mistakes I did, what I should do. And of course, if you're losing, it means that your opponent, so for example, in Stockholm, Nicola was better ready than me. So, but I think that after that, you should just realize that you can do it again. You can jump more. You can jump higher than 199. You can jump 203, 205. And my coach said that I know that you're ready, so it's not problem. We are working. And how my manager said that the main start is World Championship in the end of September.
Yeah. And one last question, sort of following up from that, you mentioned Nicola. There's also Eleanor Patterson that joined the podium with you very recently. How important is it for the sports, and particularly for women's sports, that the top level that we're seeing in high jump today, but also the friendship and camaraderie that we're seeing amongst you girls, like supporting each other?
Yeah, of course it's important because sport is united people. Sport is about friendship. Of course, when we are track and we focus on our results more than ever, but after track you just you just people who have friends, who have. So I think that it's important to have friendship and support each other. And really, we have a high level in high jump now that we always change a position with Australian girls. At Olympic Games in Paris, it was 2 Australian girls and 2 Ukrainian girls. So it was impressive. But I think that we push each other to jump higher and to be a better version of ourselves.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. You're ready for Paris. Paris is ready for you. Thank you very much, and all the best for tomorrow.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Oh, they have one more question.
Yeah. Many of us are concerned about what's happening in Ukraine at the moment. Sort of, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's continued war more than 30 years, and a few days ago it was a big rocket attack in Kiev instead, and of course it's hard after that, like, focus on what you do, but high jump and track and field, it's my passion and it's my second family. The track and field athletes always support us Ukrainians, and I'm really thankful them, and I know that it's my mission to continue jumping, to continue show people that we are a strong nation and we'll never give up and we will fighting for our liberty.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You have one more? Okay, it's okay. See? Well, from no questions to all these questions, it's fine.
You asked some advice to Tobe, Japanese jumpers Tobe, at Tokyo last month or 2 months ago. Was it good for you for improving your attempts?
Yes, it was good. I asked just to realizing that I'm moving in the right step, because he's professional, he's professor in Tokyo, so it's pleasure to receive some advice and use this in high jump.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much.
You should start jump,
I should.
High jump, yeah.
I should start high jump, yeah. I tried, I play handball, and jumping is part of it. I don't go very high up, yeah, unfortunately. But I can try. I can take some lessons from you. Yeah, we can try. Okay, it's a challenge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so next we are joined by Lamecha Girma. Welcome. So again, thank you very much for taking the time for attending the press conference, and as well for Florian for helping with the translation. So with us, we've got Lamecha Girma from Ethiopia, middle distance runner, current world record holder, silver medalist at the Tokyo Olympics, 4-time silver medalist at World Championships, one of them indoor, and also silver medalist at World Outdoor. 2 years ago, back in 2023, you gifted Paris and the world with a world record in the steeplechase. Last year, unfortunately, you were caught by surprise in a really unfortunate fall at the final during the Olympics. How are you feeling today ahead of your event tomorrow here in Paris? Especially a city that has given you some of the best moments of your career, but also a very unfortunate moment last year.
ከምንም በላይ እዚህ ሁላችሁም ስላገኘው አላም ስላገኘው በጣም ደስተኛ ነኝ።
In general, to be able to come back here, I'm very happy.
ፓሪስ ስለመጣው በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ፓሪስ ለኔ ቤት ሀገር እንደራስ የሚቆጥረውና በጣም ደስተኛ ነኝ።
Every time I'm able to come back to Paris, I'm very happy. Paris is like my home. I feel like home in Paris.
How have you prepared both physically and mentally for this new season, especially after what happened in Paris, and also going ahead into the Tokyo Olympics later this summer?
ላይ አልነበርኩም። ራሴን በጣም ያመመኝ ነበር በወደቁበት ላይ ሆኜ እና አሁን ግን ከዛ በኋላ ቀስ በቀስ ለጊዜው ለ3 ወር እንዳርፉ አዘዘኝ ዶክተሮቹ።
So after falling in Paris, my feeling was very bad. My head was hurting for a long time. Also, when I returned to training, but little by little, I was able to return to training. But it took some months. I saw several doctors, and after 3-4 months, I was able to get back slowly into training. But I needed to go back really slowly into training.
እና ከዛ በኋላ ቀስ በቀስ ወደ ትሬኒንግ እየገባው መጣው እና አሁን ለዚህ ስላበቃው በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ከምንም በላይ ጤና መሆኑን ቀድመኛል ብዬ ነው የማስበው።
And yes, after that, I was able, after seeing the doctor, after waiting for months, I was able to get back, as I said, to training. And now I'm very, very happy to be here today, to be able to be in good enough shape to compete. And the most important thing, to be healthy.
Great, and we're good to have you back. Thinking about the world record, which is also national record, you have other national records to your name, namely in the 3,000 short track, the 1,500, the 2,000. What were the decisions behind you focusing and investing on the steeplechase and not going for a slightly shorter distance like the 1,500?
ለምን ያንተ ዋናው ኢቨንት 3000 መሰናክል ነው?
ዋናው 3000 ላይ ትኩረት ያደረግኩት ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ስኬታማ ሆንኩበትም በዓለም ውስጥ ለመቀላቀል ስኬት ያደረገኝ 3000 መሰናክል ስለሆነ በዛም ዓለም ዋንጫ ኦሎምፒክ ወርቅ ቢያገኝ ደስተኛ ነኝ የሚል ለዛ ነው ትኩረት እስካሁን እያደረግኩ ያለው። ለዛ ነው እሱ ላይ እስካሁን ትኩረቱን ያደረግኩት።
So the 3,000 meter steeplechase was the first event where I was able to be successful. It's the way I was able to start my career. I've been very successful, and that's why I drove my attention towards this event. And I want to continue driving it until I'm able to win a gold medal at the World Championships on this event.
Adding to that, so what are the training and racing aspects of the short flat distances that you are able to bring into your steeplechase performance and the overall tactical strategy on the track?
ሺህ መቶም 2000 ለ3000 ይረዳል እና አንድ በተለያየ በኩል በተለያየ ስራ ለ3000 ይበቃል። ለስፒድ ለአንድራስ ለብዙ ነገሮች እንዲረዳ ያደርጋልና 1500ም 3000ም ሁሉም አሪፍ ነው እና ይረዳል ብዬ ነው የማስበው።
Yes, it helps me. Also in training, I run on the flat, and it helps me a lot for endurance, for speed, for everything. Yes, 1,500, but also longer distances like the 5,000 meter. It helps me a lot for the steeplechase.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll hand over to the media here on site to ask for questions.
Yes, Lamecha, quick question about your injury. Do you know precisely what was your injury? A severe concussion? And second part of the question, were you afraid at what point not being able to come back to the circuit? Thank you.
Okay, በትክክል ያንተ ጉዳት ምን እንደነበር ታወቃለህ?
በጊዜው ጉዳቱ የነበረው ራስ ላይ ነው። ራስ በወደቅኩበት በራሴ ሲወርቅ ያን ጊዜ የወደቅኩበት ፊሊንግ ራሴ ነው በጣም የተጎዳው እና እሱም ለጊዜው በቂ እረፍት እንዲያደርግ ዶክተሮቹ ስላዘዙኝ ከዛ በኋላ በቂ አድርጌ ደህና ሆኛለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ።
So he doesn't have a medical diagnostic in those terms. So it was a hit on his head, and then it was staying. What the doctor said is that he needed to take enough rest, and he tried during that period to come back, but it was difficult. So he needed to take even more rest, and after that it was okay. But he doesn't have a diagnostic on the concussion or something like that. And the other question was how. በአንድ ጊዜ ላለመለስ እችላለሁ በሌ ፈርቴ
እሱም ፈርቼ ነበር በመውደቄ ሜቢ ስራ እንዳቆምኩ ወይም ካሁን በኋላ መሮጥ አልችልም የሚል በውስጥም አስቤ ነበር። ቀስ በቀስ ህመሙ ሲጠፋ ወደ ስፖርት ለመስራት እያሰብኩ ነበር። በዛም ወደ ስፖርት መጥቻለሁ። በጣም አሪፍ ነው።
Yes, I was scared at some point that I could not be able to run anymore. But like I said, I took it slowly by slowly, starting to run slowly, and I saw it was improving. And like he said before, I'm very happy to be able to have come back from this.
Hello, Lamecha. How did you prepare mentally to come back on the top after your injury?
በሰነል ቦና ያንተ ዝግጅት እንዴት ነበር? በአካል ሳይሆን በሰነል ቦና እንዴት ተዘጋጀ ለመመለስ?
ዝግጅቱ እኔ የተዘጋጀው መጀመሪያም እንደሚችል እና ከዚህ በፊትም ስራ እንደሰራ ለራስም ትችላለህ ምን ስላልኩት እና መቻል እንድችል ራስን አሳመንኩትና በዛም ወደ ስራ ተመለስኩት።
So basically the discussion was with myself. I had to convince myself that I was able to, that I could. So I told myself a lot. Yes, you can do it. You are able to do it. You are able to come back.
እና በመጨረሻ ላይ ማለት የሚፈልገው ነገር ሁሉም ዓለም ስፖርት ዓለም ሁሉም በጊዜው አዝኖ ነበር እና ስላዘናቸው ከኔ ጋር ስላዘናቸው በጣም አመሰግናለሁ። አሁን ጤና ሆኛለሁ። ለሁሉም መላ ስፖርት ዓለም በጣም እናመሰግናለን። በጣም አመሰግናለሁ ማለት ነው።
Something I wanted to add, I was very, very touched that I saw everywhere after my injury that the whole sport world, all the sports people were had a lot of feeling for me, were very sad for me. It touched me a lot. I saw it everywhere, and I want to say thank you very much. Thank you everybody who thought of me at that time.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you very much also to Florian for stepping in to translate. It's really important for us to be able to get these stories from the people from Lamecha. Thank you very much. All the best, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the track again tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. This time we're staying on the track competition-wise. Now joining us are now our 800-meter specialist, Gabriel Tual from France, French national record holder, European champion, double Olympic finalist and World Championship finalist. Welcome. Bryce Hoppel from United States of America, former World Indoor Champion, bronze medalist, also at World Indoor Champion and finalist at Olympic Games. And last but not the least, Josh Hoey, the reigning World Indoor Champion from Nanjing earlier this year. So welcome to the three of you. Again, thank you for taking the time for being here. Gabriel, we'll start with you, being a home athlete. You're back at Meeting Paris at this stadium where you set a French national record of 1:41.61. How are you approaching this year's race, knowing that you are the fastest Frenchman in distance ever?
I'm not really focusing on, being the fastest European in France or even in Paris. I'm just trying to run fast and competing with those guys at that level and trying to beat them and see where I'm at, because it's really soon, really early at the season. So I'm just chilling and trying to get some nice feelings and see where I'm at.
Yeah, and talking about feelings, let's talk about a little bit about the head-to-head, in particular about your fellow competitors. So you have two here today, two Americans. There's also an athlete from Botswana, who one of the fastest in this season here at the Diamond League, but also up-and-coming other French athletes like Yanis Bezian. So how do you feel your competition on and off the track? It might be a tough question because they're sitting right next to you, but there's also like to give us some flair here. Yeah?
No, I'm just happy to be here and to run with those guys. I know it's sometimes hard. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, and it's just try my best and try to prove myself I can compete in there and beat them sometimes and be beaten. And against Yanis, I think I have the national for that, and I'll be just trying to run fast and I'm happy they're here because I can push my limits, and they hate to help me get through that. Yeah. So I'm just happy.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Bryce, go on over to you. Maybe straight on to a question related to performance. Second in Doha, 9th in Stockholm. Where are you with your training? Because you run 1:42 in Doha, 1:47 last week, but also back in April. So it's up and down.
Yeah. No, I'm in a good place with training, and we're really building to get ready for these next few races, and I'm excited to be here in Paris. Definitely ready to run fast. I think Stockholm was just unfortunate timing with a bit of an illness that I was dealing with there, and so that was no reflection of where I'm at in my fitness, but hopefully turn things around and race fast against these guys and get some fast times, hopefully some 1:42s, 1:41s. Yeah.
With such a long season and regardless of how long the season is, there's always plenty of events for you to take part. So to what extent is every event in the world stage that you take part almost like a trial and error, but also building up to the major global championship in Tokyo later this year?
Yeah, it's been really difficult to have a steady build now with how the environment is with the 800 meters. It's crazy how fast we've been running this year and the year prior. So it's almost like you have to bring your A game for each and every race, and so I think that's been a lot of fun to deal with. But yeah, I guess behind the scenes we're trying to build up for those big moments, but having all these incredible competitors kind of make each moment a big moment. So you got to come out here and compete and do the best you can whenever you can.
Yeah, and when you're not able to bring that A game, and in particular you've just mentioned Stockholm, unfortunate illness. So what are the most important factors to focus on after such an event?
Yeah, I mean, that really eats away at you being a competitor and just like having been at those stages to where like I was pretty hard on myself and pretty down about it, how it went, but it was from factors outside of my control that just kind of didn't have me ready there on that day. But I think just having all these great opportunities to run fast is now I want to come back and show what I'm really capable of, and I'm excited to hopefully show that there tomorrow.
Okay, I've sort of like asked a direct question to Gabriel about year two. No, I mean, it's your time like to ask you a question. You were the former world indoor champion. Now Josh has taken that over from you. So how does it make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, he's the U.S. fields some incredible guys, and I've had plenty of time to get to know Josh, and he's been a competitor for a while, and so it's always an honor for those guys and just Americans to kind of take those spots on top of the world stage. And so I view it as a team aspect, and the better Josh gets, the stronger he's going to make me. And so I think pulling each other along is definitely a good way to look at it. And hopefully we can go out there as Americans and take down the field tomorrow.
Yeah, very good. Okay, thank you. And on that note, I'll just jump over to Josh. Josh, at the age of 25, and is it fair to say that 2025 has been very kind to you, very successful after your first major global title early this year at the World Indoor Championships?
Yeah.
Not your fault.
Is it okay? I think so. Yeah. No, 2025 has definitely been a great year. I've just been trying to take it step by step. So it's been a tremendous team effort, especially with my coach Justin Rinaldi, who's traveled to Europe here just to be with us, and my training partners, my brothers, and my family, and all the people that support me. So yeah, I'm kind of coming into tomorrow just seeing it as another opportunity, as the other guys hinted at as well. And you just kind of want to make the most of it and kind of see where you're at.
In your opinion, what do you feel that have been the main changes after winning that major global title, in particular your ability to perform when it counts to perform? So where were you at before, and where do you feel you are at now after winning that major title?
Yeah, I think 2024 was mostly a build for us. So we just focused on getting stronger throughout the year. I mean, 2024 was the first time that I had set a PR past the month of February. So yeah, it was good to kind of keep that momentum even after the year. And so yeah, it's definitely been a lot of ups and downs. It has not been easy to manage the training and to kind of continue to try and perform at, like Bryce was saying, at our best a lot of the time. But that's the standard of the competition now, and so we're problem solvers, and so that's one of the main things that Coach and I and my dad and my brothers are constantly trying to figure out, is just to manage those ups and downs.
And how do you feel, or if you feel that way, that you are the new kid on the block, so you're the new one to have this global title, from a perspective of pressure? Did you feel less pressure before? Do you feel any pressure now? And how do you deal with that? Or do you also feel that you winning that title might have been a surprise for some, so that it allowed you to lay low and just do your job?
Yeah, I definitely feel pressure, but I tell people all the time, my main advice is to run with confidence and to never give up. So I try and embody that advice and to inspire other people towards that standard. And so I know that it's kind of on me to kind of shoulder that pressure. I feel like God's put me in this position, so I'm happy to be here.
Brilliant. I'll hand over. Thank you very much to the three of you. We've got some questions now.
First question is for Josh. Last year, the world lists in the 800, the all-time lists were totally shaken up. You had a fantastic indoor season already before Nanjing. Very good race in Stockholm. So you're ready to shake them up a little bit more now?
I certainly hope so. Yeah.
Can you maybe expand a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I try not to take anything for granted, and that's first and foremost our mentality. So I see each of these races not as a given, like that I was successful in the last race, and therefore I need that it's easy to bring that success to this race. Each meet I see as its own challenge in the preparation, especially with the training, kind of planning out our travel between Stockholm and now. And so, yeah, I mean, sometimes we've done it better than others, so it can be a little unpredictable, but we just try and bring that experience and solve problems like that come up. So yeah, I feel ready. I'm hoping that tomorrow's a good one for me.
Une question pour Gabriel. Compte tenu de des temps avec lesquels vous arrivez désengagés, est-ce qu'on peut s'attendre à ce que ça aille aussi vite que l'année dernière, voire plus?
Ouais, je pense. Après, je suis plus de l'équipe où on voit ce qui se passe et on compte les points à la fin. Mais vu les concurrents et vu en tout cas le début de saison, que ce soit Oslo ou Stockholm, oui, je pense que ça va courir très vite. Et puis maintenant, avec cette densité, je pense qu'on assistera rarement à des courses qui vont se gagner en 1,44. Donc, en tout cas, moi, je pense que je suis en forme. Après, voilà, il faut pas être en forme trop tôt, mais ouais, je pense. En tout cas, je vais essayer de courir aussi vite, et puis on verra bien où ça me mène.
Oui, une question pour Gabriel aussi. Qu'est-ce qu'il a changé ce chrono l'année dernière pour toi, que ce soit en termes de confiance peut-être, parce que tu étais le premier surpris à ce moment-là. Est-ce que maintenant c'est quelque chose, voilà, tu t'es habitué à ce que ce soit une possibilité de sortir des chronos comme ça?
Ouais, je pense que ça a cassé un peu, en tout cas beaucoup de barrières mentales, parce que c'est vrai que je pensais pas être capable de courir aussi vite en 2024, et puis sorti de nulle part, j'ai fait une 41. Et ouais, en fait, on voit les choses différemment et on court aussi un peu différemment. On prend plus de risques, mais en même temps, on stresse moins. Et puis, on va au charbon, hein, et tout le temps. Et puis, des fois, ça passe, des fois, ça casse. Et ouais, en tout cas, je les aborde un petit peu différemment. Et en tout cas, c'est avec beaucoup de plaisir que je le fais.
Question to all three of you. A bit of fun. Bryce said that this event's become a bit crazy, the times you guys have been doing and others over the last couple of years. So here we go. When do you think the world record will go? What sort of time frame? This year, in 2 years, or within 5 years?
I guess I'll start. I think there are many opportunities to run the world record from strong athletes this year. I'm hoping to be in contention for one of them, but I think a lot of us are starting to realize that the limit in the 800 is a lot farther than previously thought. I think there are even people now that are looking past the 140 barrier. So I think that is something to watch over the next 5 years.
I'll be a bit more playful. I think within the next month. I mean,
24 hours?
No, I don't think so. But we'll try. But I think the best way to run that world record is not to focus on that world record and just run and run fast. And I think we have the best opponent for that. Each races, it's 141, so it's just a matter of time, within a year. Yeah, sure.
I might be the odd duck of the guys, but maybe 5 years. I mean, I feel like David Rudisha was an incredible talent, and I don't know about these guys, but 141's hurt. So taking that next step to 140 does sound a bit daunting. But no, if it does come, I think just competing with one another, not worrying about the times, and I think just racing with these guys and the incredible talent that's on the stage of the 800 right now will be what drags us all to it. Kind of again, like together, just competing against one another. But man, 140 still seems very difficult to chase after.
I've got one more. Go ahead.
Bonjour Gabriel, l'année dernière donc tu as explosé ton record. Devant le public français, est-ce que ça peut te pousser à faire encore mieux et à battre ton propre record?
Ouais, je pense, en tout cas, je cours pour ça. C'est vrai qu'il y avait Charletti l'année dernière, il y avait aussi Paris. Et je pense que ça a été une très bonne manière aussi d'aborder cette pression et d'utiliser cette énergie qu'il y avait dans le stade et de la retranscrire sur la piste. Et je pense que oui, en tout cas, maintenant j'ai les armes pour, plus il y a de bruit, plus ça va me faire courir vite.
One more question for me, for Bryce and Joey. It's the same question. So making to the US team is quite tough, is quite competitive. So how does the depth and breadth of athletes that are available to make that team and want to make that team force you to become stronger, faster, and better, even better athletes than you are?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's probably one of the most stressful times of the year is the U.S. Championships, and having to get top 3 there is it's never a given. So again, like having guys like Josh come onto the scene and all these other incredible young talents just pushed us along the way, I think raised the bar. And I think one of the more exciting things too is one of our former world champions from the U.S. is Donovan Brazier coming back. Will be a lot of fun to throw into the mix. And so it's exciting stuff. You know, it brings more eyes to the sport in the U.S. and again, just like pushes us along. So not taking it for granted, but you know, still like I have a defending national title, so I don't plan on losing anything in the coming months. So that's always a fun thing to hang on to as well.
And for Josh, and adding to that, are you going to let Bryce keep the title?
I definitely think U.S. Champs is going to be very competitive, like Bryce was saying, but obviously I still think it's important to kind of race the full season and to kind of come and compete on a global stage when possible. And so, yeah, we hope that races like tomorrow kind of set us up for an even stronger U.S. Championship.
Thank you very much. Merci, Gabriel. Thank you to the two of you, and we're looking forward to the craziness in the 800 tomorrow on the track down there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you, Marileidy and Salwa, for joining us here this afternoon. So in this fourth part of the press conference, so we are halfway through, if you're not keeping tabs, we've got with us in the 400 specialist Marileidy Paulino from the Dominican Republic, Olympic champion, world champion, and 3 times Diamond League final winner, and Salwa Eid Naser from Bahrain, former world champion, silver medalist at the Olympic Games and World Championships, and also 2-time Diamond League final winner. So welcome again. Marileidy, I'll start with you, and then I will translate also from you. So, bienvenida, Marileidy. Te hago las preguntas la hago primeramente en inglés y después te hago la pregunta en español y empezar a traducir. Si puedes responder una despacio, mejor para mí, para me acordar de lo que dices, ¿vale? Gracias. So, Marileidy, you've had a packed season already, competing at different events. So, how are you pacing yourself this season leading up to the World Championships? So, todavía has competido muchísimo en diferentes competiciones. ¿Cómo es que estás preparando y planificando la preparación, sobre todo siguiendo que los World Championships, los campeonatos del mundo, son en Tokio y no hasta el septiembre?
Bueno, nos estamos preparando muy bien y estamos con el objetivo ya de mirar el mundial. Todas las competencias que vamos a participar no nos afecta en lo absoluto para poder llegar al mundial en óptimas condiciones.
So we are already, so it's been a packed season, and we are obviously preparing for the World Championships in September. That is our focus, and every single competitions, every single event that I'm taking part is obviously with the World Championships in mind. There was also recently there was a quote in one of the press releases saying that you've been the star of the show over the last 2 years. So how do you feel about that status, and do you feel that you are undefeatable and that you are able to continue to be the star of the show for many months and many years to come? So reciente en un press release han dicho que tú eras la estrella del show, ¿sí? Y todavía ha sido muy difícil para otras chicas de vencerte. ¿Cómo te sientes siendo la estrella del show? ¿Y tú crees que puedes seguir venciendo todas las competiciones por mucho más meses, más años?
Bueno, creo que sí, porque yo soy de la persona que trabajo mucho, trato de fortalecerme. Igualmente, creo que el mundo del atletismo siempre aprecia este show, ya tanto como Salwa como yo, de poder competir ambas en toda la competencia.
Yes, I agree that I can continue to be the star of the show. So I'm one of those people that really works hard to become stronger, and it's good. And the athletics world, people enjoy the show that the athletics is. And together with Salwa and other athletes, I think we can perform well and give that show that people like. Just moving on now to Salwa, also to give Marileidy and myself a little bit of rest with the translation. So, your tactics seem to change. Sometimes you go out very strong. What have you been working on? And could we see another win from you here as well as we saw back in 2018?
Concerning the tactics, you don't know what you're going to do till you get to the race. So I just try to win, and that's all. Yeah.
And what shape are you in at the moment? Do you agree that you could take another win again tomorrow? Although it's always you can't predict.
Of course, like coming here, I've been training really hard, so I want to win. But it's a race, You win some, you lose some, but I'm confident.
Over the years, like we've seen over the recent years, we've seen the dominance from Marileidy. What do you feel your strengths are to continue to stay at the top of your game and to offer some resistance to this level of performance that we're seeing from Marileidy?
It's a mental game, right? And she's a very good athlete. She has a strong finishing also, and that I also have a strong finishing, but it's a mental game, and it's a race. You win, like I said, you win some, you lose some. So I think we're going to put on a good performance tomorrow, and hopefully the best wins. That's all.
Just before I hand over to the media here on site, you already clocked the fastest time in the world this year. How indicative is this of where you want this season to go to?
I'm planning on winning the Tokyo. That's the plan, for every athlete. So, and to run that time gave me a boost. it gave me, some confidence, and yeah, that's what we're working towards.
Would you feel in any sense that it might have been too soon because it's such a long season, or what do you have in mind, and how are you working towards repeating or improving those fast times later throughout the season, but also later in September?
I don't think it was too soon, because you give what your body offers. And we've been working really hard, to keep that shape. But I think it was, pretty decent for that time. We're going to see to the World Championships to see if I am going to repeat that time or not.
Yeah, hopefully faster.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but at the same level, yeah, in comparison to what you were at the beginning of the season. I would welcome now some questions from everyone on site. We've been really great with getting questions coming through. So, we've got one question here.
I have one question for Salwa. What does Grand Slam track did bring to your preparation this year?
It was amazing to start with Grand Slam track because I did the 200. And normally I have fun doing the 200, but it helped with the speed, I would say, because I don't normally get the opportunity to do the 200 often. So with Grand Slam, I did it a lot, and I think it improved my training and all that.
And if I can continue, I have the same question for you, Marileidy. What the Grand Slam track did bring to you?
Pues la pregunta es que será el cambio que participando en el Grand Slam track y qué influencia ha tenido en tu preparación, en tu performance.
Bueno, al final es un gran evento, ya que nos obliga a los atletas de 400 a correr el 200 también, al igual que nos mide nuestra velocidad, la cual nos rinde al final de la carrera del 400 metros.
Yeah, well, it's a major event, so and it's a good one because it puts 400 specialists to the test by having to run the 200, and that's very, very important to assess your speed. That speed that you 400 runner you will need to finish a race strong.
Question for Marileidy. Hola Marileidy, ¿cómo te sientes mentalmente y físicamente?
Física. Sí. Me siento bien, súper emocionada. Siempre me gusta venir aquí a París y poder dar un buen resultado.
So the question was about how Marileidy is feeling both mentally and physically, and she's very pleased to be. She feels strong, and she's also very happy to run here in Paris. Okay, just quickly to Marileidy. Upon arrival here to the stadium, I was presented with a book about your life, about your story. So could you tell us a little bit about that book and what was the origin, what was the reason behind publishing it, and how important it is as a Dominican to have that book and be able to tell their story. So cuando llegué aquí, que había un libro sobre tu vida, y te preguntaba cuál es la razón para tener el libro, y como dominicana, que si es importante poder contar tu historia.
Bueno, diría que sí, ya que el libro no solamente será algo escrito, sino que también lo van a poder ver en imagen, cada trayectoria que yo tuve antes de los Juegos Olímpicos, y es bueno dejarle un mensaje a la sociedad.
So the book is not just you can not only find the text, but there's also images, and it tells a bit of my story, even just from before the Olympics. And I feel that it's good. Marileidy feels that it's good also to leave a legacy and to be able to tell a story to everyone that is interested. Still with Marileidy, one of the last interviews that we did last year, I asked you what we were looking forward the most, and you said to be able to eat as much as you want and eat whatever you wanted. So as the top athlete, what changes do you have to do at the start and during the season? In particular, not just food, but what sacrifices do you have to do? So la última entrevista que hicimos el año pasado, te pregunté qué querías hacer ahora que estaba terminando las competiciones, y me has dicho que querías comer todo lo que te gusta. Y te pregunto ahora, como la atleta de top nivel que es, ¿qué son los sacrificios que tienes que hacer? No solo con la comida, pero otras cosas.
Bueno, por ejemplo, estar fuera de mi familia, que estaré un buen tiempo ya aquí en Europa, lo cual me evita estar 3 meses o 4 meses allá en mi país.
Yeah, Marileidy, you just mentioned that being away from family 3-4 months in one go, it's probably the biggest sacrifice she has to do on top of everything else because she's away from the close ones. And Salwa, just to finish with this part of the press conference, and then a question I will have also for Marileidy. You've talked about this competitiveness between athletes in the 400, also the top level. In your opinion, how important is this for the sport, and in particular for women's sport, to have this level of performance and this level of competition between you?
It gives the other athletes boost, I would say, to watch us compete and, be the best that we can be. I think it motivates so many athletes, and we'll try our best to keep up the performance.
Le preguntaba a Salwa, y la misma pregunta para ti, que han hablado, las dos han hablado que el nivel es muy alto y ya la competencia entre las dos y entre otras está muy bien. Y te pregunto, en tu opinión, si eso es importante para el deporte en general, pero sobre todo para el deporte entre mujeres.
Bueno, yo diría que sí, ya que ambas estamos marcando una historia y pienso que el objetivo de las dos es poder hacer la barrera de los 47 segundos. Tanto ella como yo estamos cerca para poder lograrlo porque no podemos dejar que se alargue el tiempo para poder hacerlo.
Yeah, she fully agrees with the statement that it's very important, and in particular, the two of them are in a position to run sub 47, and she doesn't want to go away from the sport without any of them running sub 47. Okay. I think we have one more question there.
One question for Salwa. Sprints is a very fierce environment. How do you feel in the circuit among other competitors since you come back from suspension?
It's been tough. The first few years, I found myself struggling, but the one thing that kept me going is I knew who I am. Like, I know that I can be the best that I can be, and it kept me motivated, and I knew I would be back on top. It's just a matter of time. So it was tough at the beginning, but my mental strength and of course God really helped me to be back on top.
I think on that note, we'll finish with a perfect quote. That you're tough, both of you. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow on the track.
Sorry. Marilyn, tengo una pregunta en español. En Tokio el estadio estará lleno. En 2021 en los Juegos Olímpicos está vacío completamente. ¿Cuál es la diferencia para ti de competir en un estadio lleno o vacío? Gracias.
Bueno, al principio cuando inicié le temía un poco al público, pero ya creo que de Tokio al Mundial sería mucha la diferencia, ya que en ese entonces había la pandemia del COVID.
Well, in fact, when she started, she sort of had the fear of having all the crowds, but then she's got used to it, and she's looking forward to competing in a full stadium now. One more question.
Again, for Salwa, a question. You say just a few minutes ago that 400 was a mental game. What do you think you lack to win gold again?
I don't think I lack anything, And for me, saying it's a mental game. I always say that I believe is 88%, the mental, and the other 12%. I always say is the physical, because you could be in good shape and that day you don't feel okay in your head. You might mess up your game. Like you might run too fast or too slow. So I think I'm mentally prepared, to win the World Championships, and yeah.
Third time lucky. I think we're done now. Thank you very much. Gracias, muchas gracias. Thank you very much, Salwa. think we're ready. We can start. So,
Are we ready?
Welcome. Yep, we're ready. Okay, so welcome back. So with us, we're now with 110-meter hurdles specialist here, Grant Holloway, USA. Your name says it for yourself. Olympic champion, world champion, and Trey Cunningham, silver medalist at World Championships, finalist at Olympic Games, and NCAA champion, both indoor and outdoor. Yeah, Team USA a little bit here. So Grant, we'll start with you. I've read some press releases recently, and one of them said the title was "The Boss is Back," and the other one, "Artistic Hurdling is a must-see." As well as the incredible athlete that you are, that you've shown, the accolades that you've demonstrated. Why should Parisians and international fans should come out here to the track tomorrow to see you and to see this Paris meet?
I mean, I think just in general, you know, the meeting in Paris is one of the, in my opinion, one of the better diamond leagues with all the diamond leagues we have on the circuit. I think, you know, not just the hurdlers, but, you know, from all the events that are, you know, put on showcase here, I think this track meet in particular does a great job of showcasing everybody's talent.
Where are you at with your training and leading up not just to the Tokyo World Championships, but before that, the US trials?
Yeah, so training's been going well. I actually took some time off because I wasn't at the best of my ability. So taking about 2 months off to, you know, get right mentally, physically, emotionally. And I feel like I've been putting together some great training weeks, unlike before. And, you know, I got to get ready to go out and compete against, you know, great athletes like Trey and the rest of the field. So definitely looking forward to getting out there and competing. This is not Trey's and I's first meeting. You know, we've been doing this for a very, very long time. So definitely looking forward to see, you know, not just where I'm at with my training, but just to propel me forward for USA Champs. The great thing about that, I have the bye. So I don't really have to be able to peak or, you know, tell myself that I have to, you know, be able to perform at that track meet. So with that being said, and you know, I can kind of push back my training a little bit, which is always a blessing. So, and, you know, the ultimate goal is definitely, you know, world champs in Tokyo. I think every athlete will say they're able to give and take a lot of track meets, but that one track meet in particular is the one that they have to win.
I'm just going to ask a couple of questions, following from what you just said. The first one is, how mentally strong does one have to be, someone like you, that people expect you to see you competing, to be able to make that decision of taking 2 months off? And the second one is that the fact that you have the bye and that you've got direct qualification, does it? You said that you could delay your training, but does it make it less that you're putting less effort on it?
Less effort, no. More so just understanding the goal at hand. You know, I think everybody wants to, you know, win a Diamond League. Everybody wants to win every track meet they go to. I think that is definitely at the top of every athlete's goals. But, you know, you got to be able to give and take. You know, everything in life isn't fair. So for me, I'm looking forward just to putting on a great show, executing my race, doing what I've been doing in practice, I think is the biggest thing. And then afterwards, you know, reevaluate, attack, and then do the same thing again. You know, all these track meets, you know, I use my practices to get me ready for the track meets. I use my track meets to get me ready for World Champs in September.
Yeah, and that willingness to put on a good show, you are a bit of a showman. Yeah? So where does that come from, and how has that grown on you over time as an athlete? Did you become more confident being the showman as well as the athlete?
The showman title you guys kind of gave me. You know, I'm being Grant Holloway. I'm being the same personality I was, you know, that Stan and Tasha raised me to be. You know, I'm being respectful to not just myself, but my competitors as well. I think I'm the same on and off the track. And then regardless, like I said, the showman title you guys gave me. So if I'm a showman, that's great. And if you guys put another title on me, that's the title I'll be.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Just going over to Trey. Trey, welcome. On paper and looking at the field, you're probably one of the men, if not the man, to beat Grant tomorrow on the track. So how would you react to that?
To beating Grant?
Yeah, how would you comment that you are not just beating Grant, but being tipped to be the one that could beat Grant tomorrow?
I mean, I come into every meet expecting to win. I think all of us do that, and if we don't, you shouldn't really step on the track. I mean, I ran pretty fast here last year. I'm happy to come back and put down a faster time.
And what do you think that you need to work on, in particular after those times that you didn't win, and obviously everyone wants to win, but it doesn't happen all the time. So what tends to be the things that you work on after each meet?
You know, me and Coach look back at film and decide where that race could have gone better, and then we also decide what we did well. And it kind of boils down to like staying disciplined, honestly. I think what a lot of people don't understand about the hurdles is we have 12 opportunities to mess up, unlike the other races. And so if you're not locked in for the entire race, like you can't fall asleep, because as you're going faster down the track, the spacing you're allowed in the hurdles, you get less and less, and you have to keep up with that rhythm. And if you don't, you hit the hurdle and things happen.
And have you been able to train? I'm sure you have. And could you tell us a bit more about training, where during those training sessions, you prepare yourself for when you've hit a hurdle, but not quite enough to be out of the race? So,
yeah, I mean, they're called hurdles for a reason. So they're in the way all the time. I mean, we do a lot more at practice than what we do in the race. It's only 10 hurdles. Tomorrow it's 20 because we have 2 rounds. I mean, one session we'll do 40-ish hurdles. So, I mean, there's ample opportunity to hit the hurdles. I mean, I've got a nice little scar on my left side that's kind of numbed everything now. That's just where I hit it. But, you know, I think mostly when you hit a hurdle in a race, it can either throw you completely off, or it's just like you're so locked in that it doesn't matter. And in races like this, it can't matter.
Being an NCAA champion, it's very competitive, but not just you, but we see international athletes also succeeding in NCAA. How much of that does that competitiveness, that level, the top level, prepare you for the global stage?
So at the NCAAs, we race every 2 weeks, basically, and a lot of the teams go to the same meets. So you're seeing the same guys every 2 weeks, and usually the same fast people go with the same fast people. And, I mean, you're really battle-tested in the NCAA, and I think that is something that the pro circuit doesn't really do because we don't race as much. I mean, we can take a month off if we want, or we have 3 meets in a week. So it's just a little bit different in that regard, but I think the transition from the NCAA to the professional ranks, you really have to like dial in your training to make that more of like the every 2 weeks that the NCAA gets. So I think those kids get a great opportunity.
Do you think it's easy? Then shall I just take it that it's easier? In a way, it's easier because there's less competition, but then it's harder because having less competition out so frequently, you need to train more.
I like to race. I hate practice. Practice is so much harder than my competition. So I like racing every 2 weeks. It allows you more opportunity to fix the stuff in the competition, because when that gun goes off, it's a little bit different than the very stable environment you have at practice most of the times. So I like competing more.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. I will just open the floor to questions now.
Hello, Grant.
I'm about to get off the hook.
Sorry?
No. You're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so you run in Paris. What does it mean to you?
Paris means a lot. I mean, that was last August. You know, I won my first Olympic gold. So Paris is I'm always going to enjoy coming to Paris just based off the memories. But this track in particular, you know, I was able to run 12:98 in 2023. And that kind of like propelled me forward for, you know, what was to come closer towards that world championship year, and, you know, being able to secure my third outdoor world title. So that just Paris in general is a great place for me just to go out, compete, have a little bit of fun, let my hair down, not literally, but and just see what happens. You know, the thing about the hurdles is none of us are scared of anybody. You know, in the sprint events you can kind of dictate, you know, where you want to go, but with the hurdlers, I feel like at every Diamond League, it's going to be a fierce battle. So just looking forward just to getting back out there on the battlefield and seeing everything that works out.
Yeah, I'm sure other questions come up, but in the meantime, I'll add another one. It's about so you've been specifically asked to attend the press conference, trying to put a head-to-head here on the stage. Similar question, but different outcome. Grant, being a far more experienced than Trey and being at a fast stage in your career, so what do you think you can learn about yourself, about the competition in this head-to-head with Trey? And for Trey, is there any sort of pressure, or do you just take the opportunity to become even faster, stronger, and a better athlete with being head-to-head, even if you don't feel like that?
So I think that question is, if you understand Trey's and I history, we've been racing each other since 16?
Yeah, since we were 16.
16 years old. So this head-to-head battle has been going on for almost a decade. So whenever I haven't brought my A game, Trey has whooped up on me, and then vice versa. So I just think, saying it's just a showdown between Trey and I is unfair to say, because we're going to have 6 other great athletes in those lanes. So, not just a head-to-head between Trey and I, but a head-to-head between everybody that has to line up on the field. And the thing about it is, like Trey said before, we have rounds. So if you don't take care of the first round, you're not going to be able to even make it to the second round. So, it's more so just taking care of your lane, your space, and then obviously figuring out what can you fix in between the rounds, and then carrying on.
And a head-to-head with the hurdles as well, according to
yeah, another head-to-head. Yeah.
And Trey, in your case, how do you feel about this? What's your stand?
I mean, it's what I love to do. I love to compete. And like Grant had said, the hurdlers kind of don't dodge each other, and we get to race each other a lot more than most of the sprint guys. So I'm excited to line up, and it's always a test to see where I'm at and see where everybody else is at and see where we can improve.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'll just check if there's any questions. No? No. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Marks. Check them out. There you go. Oh, they wanted to head-to-head battle so bad.
with the pole vault. With us, we've got welcome Marileidy Paulino from France, reigning world indoor champion and European under-23 champion. We've got Katie Moon from the United States of America, Olympic champion, world champion, and former Diamond League winner. And Sandi Morris, also from the USA, 2 times world indoor champion, Diamond League final winner, and multiple silver medalist at World Championships. So welcome, ladies, and for the last time today, I say thank you for taking time of your personal and training time to be here with us today. We'll go straight in. So with Marileidy. Marileidy, you are the home athlete, so that's why also you are in the middle. So get used to that status as well. Similar to Josh Hoey that we had earlier, you've won your first major global title in March at the World Indoor Championships. At the time, you seemed a little surprised when you did the interview, also equally relaxed and happy. Has anything changed since then? And if yes, what has changed?
Nothing has really changed since then. I think I couldn't believe it neither now. So maybe that's cool for me because I don't want it to be too serious. I want to enjoy pole vaulting a lot, and I don't want people to be expecting a lot of things to me. So that's why.
Yeah, that was actually like one of the questions I was going to ask you exactly, was about the enjoyment. So what do you expect from the crowd today here in Paris? What do you think the crowd will expect from you, and how have you been able to still enjoy yourself? Because that is so important.
Yeah, that's important, and that's why I'm jumping here in France, and Paris is one of my favorite meetings here. Of course, the French crowd is crazy, and even more for the French pole vaulters and French athletes. So I will take this, and I hope it will bring me the few centimeters that I need to jump now. And yes, I know that I'm going to enjoy it.
And compared to where you were in March when you won your global title, and what do you need to train on? What exactly do you need to focus on to jump a bit higher? Like is your ambition?
The technique. I'm not very good at technique. I need to focus on that because now I've made some really good settings, so I'm on the good poles. The runway is okay, but now I need to jump a lot more efficiently. Yes, of course. And so that's why I'm learning from these girls. But for the moment, I need to focus on that.
Brilliant. And thank you for making the bridge for my next question for Katie. Is exactly that. Having more experience, having won several global titles, do you feel at this stage in your career that you are a role model for young athletes?
I hope so. That's always been my goal, at least to be a role model, on and off the track. But more than that, I just still love doing it, and I still just love jumping high. So if that in turn becomes people looking up to me, amazing, and I take that very seriously.
Would you agree that more and more we see this growing camaraderie between athletes, particularly in the pole vault, is an excellent example of that camaraderie that we see in particular in the field, because that's what people see on TV and also here in the stadium.
Absolutely. We're out there for hours. It would be a very boring, lonely world if we didn't talk to each other, but I think we all just respect each other and appreciate the hard work that we put in. We travel to the same meets, we eat the same meals, we're rooming together, and you really just come to love these people, and it's a lot more fun when you make friends on the circuit. It's a tough life, but it's worth it, and especially if you can make friends with the people that you're competing against, it's awesome.
Yeah, and now focusing a bit on your performance so far this year, run 480. So what shape are you in right now, and what shape do you want to be in? Obviously, other than the winning shape that all of you want to be in, but what shape do you think you can be at later this year?
I feel like I'm in great shape. This is the healthiest I've been in a long time. This is, my numbers on the runway and the size poles that I'm getting on are all some of the best it's ever been. So I'm very happy with how it's going. It's a long season, so I'm kind of glad that I've had, this trajectory so far this outdoor season, but I'm definitely in shape to jump really high. I was on poles that, can throw me, 490 plus in the air, and so I'm just hopeful to have a good opportunity to do that tomorrow, and it looks like conditions are going to be great. It's a great field of competitors that'll push each other, and so I'm just absolutely looking forward to doing that. And then as far as later in the season, my goal is to defend my world title. I absolutely want to do that. I would love to give, I want to get another 490 under my belt. I'd love to take more shots at 5 meters plus, and that's what I hope to do.
So you've won gold at Olympics, World Championships, also Diamond League final. What else is there to win, but also more at a personal level? What are your goals?
Now it's really just about seeing how high I can jump, which, yes, that's always been the goal, right? But I just, at this point, everything's just kind of a cherry on top. I don't feel the stress coming into competitions the way I used to when I was younger and trying to prove something. I feel that I have already proven to myself more than anyone that I am good at this. I was so quick to believe the bad, the negative, if I had a bad meet, that I was a bad pole vaulter, and it's just, that's so the opposite. The bad days are the fluke, and I wish I could have just had this attitude earlier in my career, but maybe I wouldn't have achieved what I did without it. So, yeah.
I think we all do, reflecting back on your careers and personal level. We all get to a certain stage and we feel exactly like you are feeling right now. We wish we had known. So that's how
it's easier to have this perspective now, but
so
right.
Not just for athletes. On that note, I'm going to jump to Sandi. Sandi, also a very successful athlete with global titles to yourself, but also a few times coming second. And my question is exactly what Katie was just mentioning about. Do you feel less of a good pole vaulter just because you finished second, especially with the accolades and what you've demonstrated on that field so many years?
Sure. Absolutely not. I think that I know that every single day that I stepped out there to compete at championships, I gave my best effort. And sometimes your best effort wins and sometimes it doesn't. And that is perfectly the nature of sport. If you're, that's the definition of it. You give it your all, and sometimes you win and sometimes you don't. But, I've been on a journey of finding the right situation for me. And this year, I feel almost like a phoenix rising from the ashes. I've found a situation where I feel like I'm having a second blossoming and really coming into my own this season. And so I still expect very big bars from myself. But at the same time, I have a lightness about myself because I know that I'm doing everything in my control to achieve what I want still yet in this sport. So
adding to that and knowing everything, the amount of times that you've had to either to change your technique, whether to change your training venue, or in a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your resilience?
I think anyone who's made it in this sport this many years and is still at this level is quite resilient, not just speaking about myself, but many athletes out here. It's a grind, and everybody's going through their own personal journey, and there's so much going on behind the scenes that the fans don't see. They see your performance on the day, but they aren't there every single day, every hour, every minute that you put into the journey, and we're all going through it. So respect to all of my fellow athletes.
And the real fans also know that you are an excellent singer. You have the love, the passion for animals, so they do follow you. So how important is it for you to engage the fans also on Sandi Morris as a person, not just Sandi Morris as the pole vaulter?
Sure. I've always prided myself on being well-rounded, and I come from a family of, my parents are very gifted, and we're also hobbyists. We like to be jacks of all trades, and I really enjoy life to the fullest by practicing these other hobbies of mine, and it's animal keeping, it's building things, it's practicing in the arts, whether it's singing or playing an instrument, and sharing those things with other people too. And it's a way to connect with other humans also. So yeah, I find myself to be a Jill of all trades, I guess I'll say.
And the time, all those hobbies allow you some time to just wind down and not think about the pole vault, or is the pole vault always in the back of your mind?
I would say I'm probably a little too obsessed with the pole vault, but it's easy to get that way. There's always something you can improve in the pole vault. It's a technical event, and we all seem to think there's this formula that if only we can figure out the formula, then we can keep jumping higher. But I will say, to your point, my hobbies are a way to kind of step away from that, get away from the bright stadium lights, and just enjoy living and be present.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. I'll just open the floor to everyone here. I'm sure we'll have questions. Oh, we have one at the back. coming.
Bonjour Marie-Julie, Raphaël Luce, Canal+, Infosport+. J'aimerais savoir comment abordes-tu ce premier meeting pour toi de la saison. Est-ce qu'il y a un peu de stress, beaucoup de pression puisque tu seras attendu? Et est-ce que ce supplément d'âme avec le public qui va te pousser à fond toute la soirée, est-ce que ça va être un plus pour toi?
Oui, honnêtement, ça risque d'être un plus et c'est pour ça qu'on prend beaucoup de plaisir à sauter ici à Paris. Et honnêtement, là pour moi, j'ai fait pas mal de réglages. J'ai eu 3 compétitions où le but c'était de prendre les bonnes perches, d'être sur les bons élans et donc tout est fait. Maintenant, j'ai juste à sauter haut et à prendre des risques et à tenter le tout pour le tout. Donc c'est vrai que ça va être d'autant plus facile avec une bonne concurrence, avec des filles qui sautent vraiment haut et forcément que ça va me motiver à sauter le plus haut possible.
Tu parles de concurrence, quels seront pour toi les ingrédients pour parvenir à finir le plus haut possible?
Écoute, va falloir que je lâche prise, que je sois capable de lancer des sauts que je sais faire, que j'ai fait tout l'hiver, mais des sauts que j'ai pas encore réalisés cet été. Donc je pense que voilà, c'est ce que je disais, l'aspect un peu technique qui me manque, les repères sur les grosses perches, tout ça, c'est ce qui me manque vraiment. Mais je commence à les avoir, donc j'espère que ça va sortir demain à Paris.
Marie-Julie, Swale pour France Télé. Est-ce que tu sens un changement de statut depuis tes dernières compétitions?
Honnêtement, vis-à-vis des gens, oui. Mais comme je reste très bien entourée et avec des gens qui gardent la tête sur les épaules et qui me font aussi garder les pieds sur terre, moi, dans ma vie de tous les jours, ça ne change pas. Enfin, on est dans notre microcosme dans l'athlétisme, mais honnêtement, quand je vais faire les courses, personne ne me reconnaît. Et c'est un pur bonheur. Et je pense que voilà, moi je le vis très facilement dans ce sens-là, mais c'est vrai que quand on vient sur les meetings, plus de gens viennent vers nous, on nous pose plus de questions. Là, typiquement, je suis en conférence de presse, donc ce qui n'était pas forcément le cas avant. Mais je le prends assez bien et j'essaye de gérer ça au mieux.
Bonjour Marie-Julie, Isabelle d'Infosport 75. Le fait d'être devenue championne du monde en mars dernier, c'est ton premier titre de championne du monde. Est-ce qu'il y a eu un déclic pour toi mentalement? Est-ce qu'il y a eu une étape de passer, une étape supérieure au niveau mental?
Oui, honnêtement, le saut que je produis déjà au championnat du monde à 75, c'est un saut où je me dis, en fait, il y a beaucoup plus. Quand je vois la marge, dans l'état dans lequel j'étais, la sensation avec cette perche, ça c'est quelque chose que je ne peux pas forcément décrire, mais la perche entre les mains, je me suis dit, en fait, c'est elle, c'est la bonne perche et c'est celle qui va me faire sauter très haut. Donc, je pense que mentalement, j'ai fait sauter quelques barrières. Là, je pense que je suis capable de prendre vraiment plus dur en termes de perche, de gamme, tout ça. Et rapidement, de sauter aussi bien plus haut. Parce que on prend confiance. Parfois, à l'entraînement, je me dis, c'est dur, ouais, mais tu as envie d'être championne du monde et de refaire, en fait, de réitérer la médaille d'or parce qu'en fait, c'est une très belle couleur et forcément, c'est une couleur dont on n'a pas envie de se défaire. Mais ouais, je pense que ça a changé quelque chose et c'est une motivation en plus. Honnêtement, c'est une motivation en plus.
Katie, Sandi was just talking about the importance of having things in your life away from pole vaulting. Can you give us some examples of how you relax outside the sport? Any reptiles in your life?
Definitely not. I sit on my couch a lot. I have a dog, so he takes up a lot of my time, and I love him very much. I also have a husband. He takes up a lot of my time, and I love him very much. No, I really enjoy in my downtime taking full advantage of my rest, but I also really like to. Part of my major was in fashion, or my degree was in fashion. So I like dressing cute, going out to eat, trying new foods, hanging out with friends. I love shopping. So my husband can attest to all the boxes on the front porch often. But I really just, I just enjoy time with family and friends. I know that's not technically a hobby, but I think in my downtime, just spending time with them away from track and field, going on trips with them, just going to family functions. That's really how I enjoy getting away from the sport. Thank you. I'll let you know.
Just adding to that, is it important that we normalize that to do nothing as a relaxed time rather than having to constantly do something and prove to others that we're doing something, especially with the rise of social media?
Absolutely. Yes. And look, for each athlete, it's going to be different. But I do think there is definitely there's a lot of overtraining type of injuries because it's, athletes that feel like they have to be doing something every single day. And if they're not on the track, if they're not in the weight room every single day, but the reality is the rest is just as crucial, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, just getting away and not constantly obsessing about it. I mean, like Sandi said, it's always in the back of my mind. We care about it. It's what we put all of our heart and soul and work into. So we want it to go well and we think about it. But if you can just take that time on your rest days or just in your off season, just fully getting away from it, I'm a big advocate for that. So however whatever outlet you need to do that, I think it's really important.
And go on.
A question for all of you. It's many years now that the world record has not changed. Why and who and when do you think can beat it?
Why? I mean, the world record's difficult for a reason. I mean, it's high. Yelena was an incredible athlete, but I don't think what she did was out of the realm of possibility for other athletes to accomplish. It just, everything needs to be kind of perfect on the day. And yeah, as far as who can break it, I think there's several of us in the sport. I would love to consider myself in that conversation, but I think there's several of us that are very capable of that, and maybe athletes that will be capable of it in the next couple years. I think it is. I think it could go down in the next few years for sure. But everything's got to be right on the day. So yeah.
I think also it takes so long to learn the technique of the pole vault that sometimes injuries get in the way. And there have been other talents who have been capable. It's just really hard to stay healthy for consecutive seasons to where you get in shape to attempt something like that and are able to hold that form and continue to jump high enough to take attempts at something like the world record. So I think that comes into play, is getting someone who's also fortunate enough and has the right training formula for themselves to stay healthy for a long enough period of time to be jumping those heights. So I think that's part of it is staying injury free. And I know that has also gotten in my way. I mean, in every athlete's way, you hit roadblocks and you have to get past the injury to get back in form to attempt something like that.